bit later.
Yeah. Yeah. Hello. This is our group's video assignment on procurement and purchasing management course. Um, Here's Eetu, Xander, and Gabriel. And we had our interview assignment with Esa Avikainen from Metso. And first here we'll have a brief company introduction. And Metso as a company is one of the market leading providers for sustainable technology solutions and services for minerals processing, aggregates and metals refining industries. And they are originally from Finland, and their headquarters is in Espoo, southern Finland, next to Helsinki. And nowadays they are a truly global company with over 17,000 employees across 15 countries around the globe. Their products include aggregates, industrial filtration, metals refining, mining and recycling products, and they also provide essential spare part and wear part along with comprehensive services such as maintenance, upgrades, life cycle services, process optimization, and of course training for their products and technologies. Then off to our actual interview. We had that with Esa Avikainen, who is category sourcing manager in automation product group in Metso. He studied his degree of Bachelor of Business Administration in Haaga-Helia University of Applied Sciences, and actually back then it was Helia, called Helia, nowadays Haaga-Helia. He has had roughly 20 years experience in procurement. First he started as a trainee purchaser for mechanical parts already during his studies. He didn't mention what company this was, but after all, eventually he acquired a permanent employment there. And during his years there, he expanded to other fields related to sourcing and inventory management also. And after 6 to 7 years there, he joined Outotec, and Outotec merged with Metso in 2020-ish, and nowadays he's working for Metso. There at Outotec, he started as a procurement specialist for spare parts, and after a few years in there, he changed to category sourcing manager, which is his title nowadays. And when we asked from him that what could be the most important thing he has learned through his working experience and studies, that's basically the message that we are all human beings. Every day in procurement and sourcing, you are dealing with people, you are in contact with them, you are having negotiations, discussions, all that. You have to treat people with respect, and they will treat you with respect. That's basically the theme and message that has come up with all of the visiting lecturers as well. His current job description and department in Metso. At this point, it's maybe good to mention that Metso has a few business areas such as minerals and services, and under those business areas there are business lines, and ESA is working for separation business line, and under those business lines there are product groups. They are abbreviated as PGs here, and ESA is working for automation product group. They are responsible for the supplier base, handling those, and ESA is working in collaboration with thickener PG and flotation PG, for example these PGs, and their category sourcing managers. They have some common targets. These targets will be assessed a bit more detail later on in this presentation. And These PGs have some common suppliers, but automation, of course, they have quite different equipment and product-wise approach there. And their like main goal here is that they have to have everything available at decent cost, making sure that supplier base is in that condition that they can provide enough equipment and products, and also at decent cost, meaning savings and cost management development, etc.
All right, so the main goals within Mezzo are that they want to have lower prices, they want to have less inventory, and they want to maintain quality levels while also increasing the accounts payable time, meaning that they have more time to pay their suppliers what they are owed. And when it comes to indirect and direct procurement, it is divided between the different departments within Mezzo. So what ESA does would be direct procurement, and then indirect procurement would be handled by other departments within Mezzo that then handle the procurement for things that are required for those day-to-day operations. And when it comes to procurement and purchasing, procurement is the big picture, which is what ESA does. So he goes out and finds the different suppliers that he then gives to the smaller scale purchasers in the different teams, project teams that are below his department, and then they purchase things from those suppliers that he supplies them with. And then when it comes to strategic, tactical, and operational procurement, what ESA does is again the strategic area of the procurement, and then the tactical area is handled by people that are in those specific project groups, and then operational procurement is again by some different department. And purchasing within ESA's product group, which is automation, is centralized. So his group of 6 people are the main people who handle basically all of the procurement in there. And then the procurement is like decentralized over the entirety of Mezzo. And then they have those different product groups that handle their own procurement with their own suppliers. And again, his team consists of 6 people that all work in this same product group, so automation. And then the purchasing progress or process, it begins with the customer, so they order something, and then the project teams that are assigned to that and have to manufacture that, then they order those things from the suppliers that are given by ESA, and then those suppliers, they deliver those to the company. So when it comes to this risk and cost evaluation, they prioritize low risk, even if that means higher cost, much more than they would prioritize higher risk if it means saving a lot of money. And for example, if it comes between purchasing from the EU or purchasing abroad from Asia, like China, for example, then they would prioritize purchasing from the EU just so they can make sure that everything arrives on time and there's no other risks associated with ordering from abroad. And then when they need to develop some new kind of a need, then the project teams map out what is needed, what are the basic requirements that they would need to buy, and then they hand this list to ESA, and then ESA would look for suppliers that can satisfy this kind of demand and looks for suppliers that have can offer the things that the project teams require. And then when it comes to social responsibility, they try to maintain overall fairness between their suppliers and their customers. So they try to treat them well. And for example, if a supplier is late, then usually there's always a there's a clause in every contract that would then entitle the people that they are late to deliver something that would entitle them to some kind of a recompense. But usually they try to handle it case by case, see if it really is the supplier's fault or maybe there's some other problem upstream. So they don't always try to get money out of the supplier if they are late, and they try to work with the supplier to make sure that this doesn't happen again and just try to treat them well.
Onto the networks and suppliers. In his direct network, he mostly works with the like logistics teams and then specific project and product group managers slash purchasers because, like I said previously, uh, the project group managers and purchasers will come ask him for specific products, and then he will have to find suppliers for those products. Uh, in his product group, he has 50 suppliers, and 20 of those are active suppliers that he communicates with weekly. They try to focus on long-term relationships, and they rarely ever have to use single-use or backup suppliers, at least in his product group. And then for his group, they also only source locally in Finland. So when they need to either find new suppliers or acquire new products, they will always send sample products for testing uh, to make sure the quality of the product is okay, and then they can continue to negotiations. Uh, they are also part of a Science-Based Target Initiative, which is a business association, and what that group does is they track emissions of different companies. And Metso is working to get to 80% green suppliers by 2030. Contracts negotiation and supplier relations. So for the main key suppliers, they will have yearly negotiations at least. They also have a business analytics team that collects data on raw material, interest rates, etc., things like that. When he is actually negotiating the contracts, some of the key things he uses is the market data he gets from the business analytics team. Other things like the product volume. He also tends to have a very clear and honest approach to his negotiation style. And also, as said earlier, they prioritize quality over cost, so they are willing to sacrifice on cost for a much better quality. Metso also focuses on long-term suppliers, and how they keep these relationships up is they will have at least monthly meetings or quarterly meetings. And if they're going for, let's say, a supplier visit, they will have either like a dinner or evening program. Measuring, developing, and analyzing. So, as said earlier, there are monthly targets for all the sourcing managers. These targets measure the amount of savings they create, on-time deliveries and on-time arrivals, and then also the amount of contract extensions they can make. Suppliers get measured based off the quality and on-time delivery of their products. Metso also uses 2 ERP systems right now because they're actually switching over. We don't know exactly which one, but they use an ERP system to track these measurements, and also Sievo, which is a program that specializes in visual analysis, so they can get a better view of these measurements. In terms of future development, they're always constantly trying to find the best supplier and balance price, quality, and availability. And in terms of the future of procurement, we asked him about AI, and he said he doesn't use AI right now, but he could see it being used in the future for things like localization problems. And what that is basically when you're trying to procure from a different country and the language, there's a language barrier or something like that, or you need customs issues resolved, AI might be able to give you quick answers for that. Conclusions and key takeaways. Like I said earlier, one of the few things he said is that we are all human beings. Everyone makes mistakes, and people just have to live with that. Secondly, he said that procurement people take all the blame when stuff goes wrong. Again, this kind of goes into the fact of we are all human beings. Mistakes get made. Unfortunately, I guess from his perspective, it all just gets blamed on him. And then lastly, the work environment and tasks are vastly different between different companies, as I'm sure you will tell between this presentation and many others. So the theory we learn in this class and our other classes will only take us so far, and you will do most of your learning in the actual workforce. But thank you for your time and listening to our presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
That was pretty all right.